Paranormal Activity. This is the holy grail of low-budget success stories. Oren Peli, a software developer with zero film experience, shoots a haunted house story inside his own San Diego home. No fancy effects, just a shaky handheld camera, a couple of terrified actors, and doors creaking open at night. What made this movie so scary was not the big-budget CGI demons, but instead, the terror came from what you don't see. Audiences went nuts. Paramount bought the film, tested it with audiences, and rolled out a viral campaign asking viewers to demand the movie in their city. The hype snowballed, and suddenly a $15,000 home project made almost $200 million worldwide. That's twice as much as what Jaws made at the box office. The Blair Witch Project, before TikTok, before viral YouTube hoaxes, there was Blair Witch. Filmmakers Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez created a fake documentary about 3 student filmmakers who vanished while investigating a local legend. To promote the movie, they promoted it as found footage, fueling rumors that it was real. The genius wasn't just in the shaky camera, it was in the marketing. They built fake missing person posters, online forums, and even a website claiming the footage had been recovered from the victims themselves. Audiences ran to theaters to see if it was real themselves. The result? A cultural phenomenon that grossed nearly $250 million, paving the way for every shaky cam horror movie since. Without Blair Witch, there would never be Paranormal Activity Cloverfield, and no endless stream of YouTube ghost hunting channels. Rocky, yes, technically $1 million isn't as low as $15,000, but for a movie with 0 big stars, $1 million was pocket change compared to the big studio productions at the time. Sylvester Stallone was a struggling actor who refused to sell the script unless he got to play Rocky Balboa himself. The studio was hesitant at first, although eventually agreed to let him play the role on an extremely low budget. This proved to be the best decision they could have made. They shot guerrilla style on Philadelphia streets using family members as extras. Even the dog in the movie was Stallone's dog in real life. And yet this little film about an underdog fighter went on to win Best Picture at the Oscars and earn $225 million at the box office. Rocky, a movie about an underdog, became the underdog of the film industry itself, proving that passion can outweigh budget. Napoleon Dynamite, this one is a different kind of success story. No horror, no boxing ring, just the awkwardness of Idaho teenagers, tater tots, and llamas. Jared Hess made Napoleon Dynamite with little money and a cast of complete unknowns. The movie's awkward humor, bizarre characters, and endlessly quotable one-liners became a cult phenomenon. While the profit margin for this movie is already insane, the vote for Pedro Schertz made the budget 3 times over. Saw wasn't supposed to be a franchise. It started as a single, self-contained horror flick by James Wan and Lee Wannell. Shot mostly in one grimy bathroom with 2 guys chained to pipes, it was claustrophobic, raw, and disturbing. Audiences were hooked. Saw turned into a cultural phenomenon, launching a billion-dollar franchise and creating the torture horror subgenre. And it all started from a small indie group of friends that had a passion for terrifying audience. Mad Max. Before Fury Road won 6 Oscars, before Tom Hardy grunted his way across the wasteland, there was George Miller's original Mad Max. Shot in Australia with a tiny budget, it featured cheap stunts, real crashes, and a then-unknown Mel Gibson. Despite all of this, it turned out to be the highest-grossing movie ever made in Australia at the time, pulling in well over $100 million from its $350,000 budget. That's like flipping a coin and landing on a stack of cash taller than a skyscraper. Get Out! This was produced by Jordan Peele, who you might know from the old hit show Key and Peele. Get Out wasn't just profitable, it became a cultural landmark. Jordan Peele's directorial debut blended social commentary with horror tackling racism in a way that made audiences scream and think simultaneously. The result, $255 million worldwide, 4 Oscar nominations, and a win for Best Original Screenplay. Proof that even in the modern blockbuster era, you don't need $200 million to change the game. Halloween. John Carpenter's. Halloween is the godfather of slasher films made on a shoestring budget, with many crew members doubling as actors and props. Could you believe Michael Myers' mask was just a $2 William Shatner mask painted white? This did not affect the popularity of this movie, as not only did it gross $70 million on its tiny budget, but practically created the modern horror formula, being masked killer teenage victims and extreme suspense. Its legacy continues with countless sequels, reboots, and imitators, proving that sometimes all it takes to terrify the world is a scary villain and some scared teenagers. Clerks Kevin Smith was just a video store clerk with a dream and a stack of credit cards. He maxed them out to fund his debut film, Clerks, shot in the convenience store where he worked in real life. The budget was so low for the movie that it had to be shot in black and white. Not for aesthetic purposes, but because he simply could not afford a color film. And yet its raw honesty, sarcastic dialogue, and relatable slacker humor made fans forget they were even watching a movie in black and white. Clerks became a comedic indie hit, grossing over $3 million and launching Kevin Smith into cult icon status. El Mariachi Robert Rodriguez didn't just make a cheap movie. He practically redefined how cheap a movie could be. Armed with only $7,000, much of which came from participating in medical research trials, Rodriguez shot El Mariachi in Mexico with non-actors borrowed locations and improvised equipment. Guns were often just painted wood, and camera dolly shots were achieved with wheelchairs. The film won audiences at festivals, got picked up by Columbia Pictures, and eventually grossed $2 million. But its real legacy is that it launched Rodriguez's career, leading to be able to create hits like Desperado Spy Kids and Sin City. El Mariachi stands as proof that if you're resourceful enough, you can literally build a Hollywood career from a few $1,000s in a dream.
Thanks for watching, and let me know how many of these movies you've seen.